6-month-old daughter who is my entire world. I love her more than I could have ever imagined possible, but she changed everything. I was deeply in love with my partner, and we had an almost perfect relationship. We traveled, partied, drank champagne in bed at 1 p.m. Life felt perfect. I had a career in IT, and I was good at my job. We were in a long-distance relationship for 8 months, and then he decided to return to our country to be with me. We started talking about marriage and children. I told him I wasn't sure if I wanted any, and that I would give myself 1 year to decide. He wanted children, but he said he wanted me more, and that if I decided I didn't want them, he would stay with me. Just 2 weeks after that conversation, I was staring at a positive pregnancy test. It was 6 a.m. and my period was only 1 day late. I was in shock. Of course, I know how children are made, but I was still completely unprepared. I woke him up in a panic and screamed that I was pregnant, then burst into tears. After I gathered myself, I went to work. Abortion was not something I considered. That was due to my personal values and beliefs. My pregnancy was rough. I experienced extreme morning sickness that lasted all day, combined with constant anxiety about what was to come. I felt as if my decision about whether to have children had been taken away from me, even though I understood how pregnancy happens. My once fit and healthy body turned into something I no longer recognized. My self-confidence was shattered. I felt like my beauty was gone. I hated my body, the way it looked, and the way it felt. Around 20 weeks into the pregnancy, I began to feel stronger kicks, and with them came a connection I had been afraid I would never feel. I loved her in the womb. I was certain of that. At that point, I knew there was nothing more important than her. The moment she was born, I felt an overwhelming and immediate love, unlike anything I had ever known before. The first 2 months were incredibly hard. It was the most difficult time in my life. Still, every day I pulled myself together and did the best I could as a mother. My child consumed me completely. Everything I did, and still do, is for her. Not because I feel obligated, but because I genuinely want what is best for her. I have no time for myself. I sleep poorly. My body feels ruined, and my self-confidence is gone. The woman I was before I got pregnant is gone, and I am grieving her. Sadly, my relationship is gone too. I was afraid my partner would love our child more than he loved me, but I never imagined it could be the opposite. He is a good father, a good person, and he loves me, but I no longer love him, and it is not his fault. All of me goes to my daughter. Everything I have is for her. I am heartbroken because I no longer have the capacity to care for anyone else, including myself. I give everything to her. I never expected motherhood to feel this way, but it does. I am mourning the life I had before her. I wouldn't say that I regret having a baby, but I find myself wondering what life would be like if we had never had her. Even thinking that makes me feel guilty. I feel deeply conflicted. She is everything to me, yet I miss the life I had before. I have no help, and even if I did, I cannot imagine leaving her with someone else just to take a break. I am exhausted. I feel like a shadow of who I once was in every aspect of my life, and she is only 4 months old. I know she will grow up, and one day I will be alone. I truly believe that children do not owe their parents anything. It was my decision to have her, and therefore I owe her everything. I owe her care, love, and the responsibility of being a good mother and making sure she is happy and healthy. But my heart is broken because my baby, through no fault of her own, has cost me my relationship, and that is the saddest part of all. Had I not known this love and fully understood what my reality would become, I would never have chosen to have a baby.
As a single mom, men love to say that little boys need their dad and they need a male figure in their life to be successful or to be happy or to be a man. But I'll tell you, my biggest regret in my entire life as an addict is introducing my son to men that were not his father. His father passed away a week and a half before he turned 1 year old. And for a long time, I was just lost and broken, and I coped through men. I'll be honest and say that. And it wasn't healthy for anyone, and I truly, truly, truly regret it. So if you're a single mom watching this, take my advice.
Well, if you're unaware, there is a subreddit called Regretful Parents. I've thought about whether it's my place to go on that subreddit, but because people have this belief, I think it's really important to talk about the fact that regretful parents exist. So here's just some snippets from the sub. I didn't think I'd get PPD this bad. Even though my baby is only 10 months old, not a day goes by where I don't want to disappear or hurt myself. I'm in therapy and on medication, but I don't think I'll ever be myself again. I'm just an empty shell. Being called mama irritates the soul out of me. My child is 6, and I wish I understood that my PPD was a sign to adopt him out. Now it's too late for me. The bad feelings never went away. I can't do this. I wasn't cut out for this. I feel like I'm pouring all of myself into a bottomless pit that gives thanks by screaming furiously at me. I didn't want to keep him, but my partner's parents convinced me to. Any breaks I get from my son, I spend dreading when I'll have to take him back. If my kids were not my kids, I would cross the road to avoid them. I have nothing left to give. I can't stand my 14-year-old. I wish she was never born. I hate being her mom. I hate coming home every day to her. I don't know how to accept this is my life now without wishing every day I hadn't ruined it with a baby. I'm just alone with this terrible toddler, living paycheck to paycheck, wondering how I could have messed up my life so much. A year into motherhood, I go to bed every single night dreading the next day. Never in a million years would I have guessed I could be this unhappy. There hasn't been a single day in an entire year that I've enjoyed. I yearn for the life I used to have. I miss it so much it hurts. I don't even see glimpses of myself anymore. My anxiety runs my world. I've completely lost the old me. I wish I had known that every day would start with cortisol surging through my body before the sun rises. My nerves shot before breakfast time. The best part of my day is when my kids go to school. Right now I'm locked in the bathroom trying to recoup so I don't start yelling while my 5-year-old does the exact opposite of what I've asked them to do from the other side of the door. This life is relentless and I'm so fucking exhausted. This is from a post called For the Fence Sitters. You know that feeling you get at the tail end of winter when it feels like you haven't had the sun on your face for ages? It feels like it's been cold forever and every morning feels gray, and you look forward to spring when you won't have to put on your boots and coat to scrape the ice off your car while you freeze your ass off. Imagine trying to explain that feeling to someone who spent their whole life in the tropics. You can complain about the cold, but it's not really the cold. It's not the snow either. And having to put on boots in the morning or drive the car on icy roads, none of these things seem like a big deal in isolation. Even combined, they don't seem overwhelming to an outsider. Anybody can do winter for a while. It's really the bitter endlessness of it all. Waking up to it day after goddamn day. The petty frustrations that together are more than the sum of their parts. That's what being a parent has been like for me. Only instead of being able to look forward to spring, the only thing on the horizon is more winter. Decades of winter. I know that sounds melodramatic, but I swear it's the best analogy I can think of. It's bleak, and it can be harder still knowing that you chose this. You could be sitting in Mexico under the hot sun, salsa dancing and sipping margaritas, but instead, you picked 18 years of winter, possibly more. And that decision can seem very, very stupid when you're shoveling your driveway while sub-zero winds blow snow in your face. So yeah, there are parents who regret it.
I am 25 now, a mother of 2. But the truth is, this all started before I even understood who I was. I left for the military at 17. At 18, while deployed overseas, I found out I was pregnant by someone I wasn't even speaking to anymore. My first instinct was to get an abortion. I never wanted kids, as I was one of 5 growing up, and my first sister was disabled, so it left a lot of the parenting my younger siblings to me. That being said, I knew I disliked kids and anything that had to do with them. It was legal where I was, and deep down, I knew I wasn't ready to be a mom. I was scared and isolated. When I told my mom, who wasn't even very religious growing up, she suddenly told me I'd go to hell and that pregnancy was God's blessing. At 18, I listened. I wish I hadn't, but I did. And I continued the pregnancy even though everything inside me said I didn't want it. At 8 weeks, I scheduled an abortion, but the thought of me going to hell and spending an eternity burning, how my mom described it, scared me away. I realize now I've been living in hell. This is my hell. I spent the whole pregnancy alone. The father was still on deployment. He didn't call, he didn't support me emotionally, just financially. When I gave birth, he wasn't there. I had postpartum depression and no village like everyone promised. It was just me and a baby that I had felt forced into having. Eventually, I left the military because being active duty as a single mom was impossible. A year and a half later, I rushed into marriage. I was lonely, and this person accepted me and my daughter. He was a great step-parent, and for a moment, I thought life might finally feel okay. I did what I thought was damage control. Then I got pregnant again. I miscarried, and that loss broke something in both of us. I spent 6 months trying to get pregnant again, wanting to fix what felt shattered. On the 7th month, I did get pregnant. I found out that the baby I lost was the opposite gender, and the baby I carried to term was the same gender as my first. Now my husband keeps talking about trying for a third for the other gender, but I know in my heart I don't want any more kids. I hate that everything I've done, my education, my future, and my career, have revolved around working around my kids. I've already given more of myself than I had to give. And I just physically, emotionally, and mentally know that I don't want any more kids. I'd like to say I have learned my lesson. Kids don't fix anything, and quite frankly, I don't care to have a different gender baby. My second pregnancy was difficult. Even though my husband supported me physically, things were different emotionally. Intimacy disappeared. I found explicit photos of other women on his phone. After birth, I bounced back physically. I weighed even less than before and had no stretch marks, but none of that mattered. He still wasn't interested. When we tried to be intimate, he couldn't even perform. It crushed me. That's not your fault. My second baby was colicky and had a reversed sleep schedule. We ended up taking shifts. I handled days, he handled nights. For almost 9 months, the only time we saw each other was while swapping shifts. When the baby finally started sleeping normally, nothing improved. He still stayed up gaming until 3 to 5 a.m. every night, leaving all the morning responsibilities to me. As I'm writing this, it's 10 a.m. My kids have been awake since 6. He went to sleep at 5. I'm exhausted. They're independent, but still too young for me to relax, and I'm carrying everything alone again. I resent my first child's father for getting to continue his military life overseas, traveling and living freely while visiting only a few times a year. And I resent my husband for being physically here but emotionally absent, leaving every burden to me. I don't share this for sympathy. I share it for the 17 or 18-year-old girl who might stumble across this, scared and unsure. If you're young and pregnant and everyone around you is pushing you, guilting you, or telling you what God wants from you, please listen to your own voice. I've learned that kids aren't a blessing from God unless you're battling infertility. Kids are just the direct effect of having sex while ovulating. Nothing more, nothing less. I wish someone had told me that it's okay to choose yourself. I wish someone had told me that fear and guilt should never outweigh your future. I wish someone had told me that motherhood should be chosen freely, not forced. So if my story reaches even one person in that position, I hope it gives you the strength to make the choice that is right for you, not anyone else. Your dreams matter. Your peace matters. Your happiness matters. What you want for yourself, your career, your future matters. And you deserve a life that won't break you. If sharing my truth helps even one young woman trust her own voice, then maybe everything I've survived won't feel so painfully pointless.
I think there's only a small percentage of people who are actually happy being parents. I think we pressure people too much to be parents. I think people feel that they have to fulfill that role in order to feel fulfilled or to do their humanly duties. But the reality of it is, you don't have to be a parent. Having children is not going to solve your issues. You can be a cat parent instead. I think a lot of parents out there regret having children. Just be careful, because being a parent is a permanent, lifelong decision. It's not like making the wrong career choice. It's not like choosing the wrong partner. Being a parent is a lifelong, permanent decision that shouldn't be taken lightly.
This was a hard message to read. It's fairly short, but I want to ask you to please be kind in the comments and please just put yourself in someone else's shoes rather than rushing to judge, because this message is a little harsh and it could be easy to jump to judgment, but please reserve judgment and just put yourself in this woman's shoes. She says, I hate being a mother. I have 4, 2 boys, 2 girls. There are 2 fathers. One of them is a great father. The other is an alcoholic. Throughout the years, I've sacrificed everything. My youth, my time, my career, my life, to be a full-time mom. Because at the time, I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Not because I wanted to. But culturally, once you're a mom, that's it. You give up everything. Your happiness, your life, your career. I'm just so miserable. I hate being a mom. I hate my kids. Obviously, I don't starve them or beat them. I just do the bare minimum right now. I take them to school, I make dinner, I buy them the things they want and need, and that's it. I don't go out of my way to spend time with them or have fun with them. In fact, I avoid it as much as I possibly can. I don't date at all. I never have men around them, because even though I hate my children, I don't like the idea of men being around them in case one of them is a creep. What I'm trying to get at is, I hate being a mom. I wish I was free from them, and sometimes when I let thoughts get the best of me and let my mind run, I think how I would feel if I just woke up and they were gone. Poof, magic. Like the movies where they wake up and the life they dreamt is actually just that, a dream. I can't wait for them to grow up so I can finally have my freedom. But it sucks because then I'll be old. How fucking unfair.
I don't think enough special needs parents talk about this, but something that absolutely haunts me are all of the nights where she would be crying nonstop. And I mean nonstop. For the first couple years, we didn't get hardly any sleep. Crying nonstop, not knowing that she was experiencing muscle spasms and pain, not being able to tell me. It makes me feel a lot of regret. My daughter, she's 8 years old and she has cerebral palsy. Diagnosed at 2 years old. She's autistic, she's nonverbal, she has vision issues, she's over heightened sensory everything. Like she hears the slightest thing, she startles. It haunts me, and I know I'm not the only one. You're an empathetic person. You put yourself in that situation, and I have so many moments where it just hits me, and it's like, God, if I only knew that my daughter was struggling so much, if I only knew that her body and her muscles were contracting and hurting and she was in pain, it breaks me. I think about how scared she must have been as just a little baby, and her mom is like, what, freaking out. And it's like, oh, do any other parents, special needs parents, have moments where you're just like, man, my heart continues to break over that. I'm working through it, and I give myself grace, and I know I was only doing the best that I could in those moments, but it still haunts me to this day. Any of you guys have any stories like that or thoughts?
This story will make me sound like a horrible person, but I want to share my experience in hopes maybe someone else won't fall victim to what I have. I am a 30-year-old female, and I have been married 8 years. I never planned on having kids, and my husband and I planned on staying child-free. We loved our life and our money. We traveled to Korea, Germany, and Italy all in the same year, and didn't have to worry about a child to drag along, and that's how we wanted to stay. I had so many goals and aspirations. In 2019, I was scheduled to get an IUD because the doctors refused to tie my tubes. But the worst happened, and at that appointment, I found out I was pregnant. My birth control had failed me, the doctors had failed me after I begged for 3 years to tie my tubes and was refused every single time, and now my worst fear was true. I was pregnant. That was the worst day of my life. I cried all the way home while my sister drove and tried to comfort me. When I got home, I immediately told my husband, and I told him I wanted to get an abortion. He told me to wait before scheduling the appointment. The next day, my parents and in-laws showed up at our door. My husband had called them, and they spent 3 hours explaining to me all the reasons I should keep the baby. They told me how much love I would feel once the baby arrived, and how being a mother is the best feeling in the world, and how much they would be there to support me. And I fell for every word, not because I wanted the baby, but because I didn't want to let everyone down. And now here I am wishing I had gotten the abortion. My daughter is healthy, normal, and a smart 5-year-old. My husband adores her, and my parents do too, but I hate her. I know that's harsh, but I do. There isn't a day that goes by where I wish she was never born. I never bonded with her. I tried so hard, but I never did. I remember being in the hospital doing skin to skin and feeling zero attachment or love for the slimy child in my arms. When I told my husband about how I felt, he told me to see a therapist, and I did for 2 years. I didn't have postpartum depression or psychosis. I just simply didn't love my daughter, and I never have. The doctors couldn't help, and no antidepressants could either. I feel like a monster for the way I feel, but I hate her. She stole everything from me. My once perfect body is now covered in stretch marks and a C-section scar. I gained 20 pounds that no amount of diet or exercise can take away, and my sex life is non-existent. I haven't traveled since before she was born because we couldn't afford it with all the hospital bills. I treat her with kindness and respect, and all I get in return is back talk and told, "I hate you, Mommy." I gave everything that mattered to me just so she could exist, and she will never care. She has her whole life ahead of her to make all the right decisions, and I am stuck in the trenches of motherhood that I will never escape. I wish I had gotten that abortion. I wish I never fell for the trap of motherhood.
People who are regretful about their choice to reproduce couldn't hide their jealousy even if they tried. I'm sure by now we've all seen this video in which this woman says that child-free people are basically on permanent vacation. She says that when her friends or the people around her who don't have kids complain about being busy or tired, she doesn't say it out loud, but she wants to let them know, like, oh, you have an easy life because you don't have kids. Wait until you actually have kids, and then you'll really see what tired and busy looks like. And did y'all notice she also felt it necessary to throw in there, oh, I love spending time with my kids. I think I asked God for this. I love my kids. So, what we got to do with it? Where do we come in? That, her video is exactly what it looks like when you are envious of the lifestyles that child-free women have. Because what do you mean we're on permanent vacation? Our lives are not free. We don't get free housing because we're child-free. We still have to go to work and pay bills and participate in society. Just because you chose to reproduce and now you're burnt out and tired and run down and overworked does not mean that you are special or you are more valuable of a human than those of us who actually chose to do something differently. The jealousy is palpable, and instead of being mad at child-free folks, y'all need to turn to your village and the fathers of your kid and ask them to do more for you, because this, girl, please.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't understand the obsession that people have with trying to say that if you don't have kids in this economy, then we should be further ahead in life. That makes no fucking sense to me. Y'all sitting here talking about you got all the free time in the world. Basically, your life is like a vacation every day. No, it's not. It's literally not. I don't know why the fuck y'all think that. And my thing is this. I seen one bitch say, oh, people with kids think it's a flex to not have kids, but where's your degree and where is this, where is that? Mind you, the only reason you got all of that is for one reason. It's because you're selfish and you needed somebody else to motivate you in order for you to get up off your ass and get shit done. But you want to be mad at me because who the fuck want to have kids right now? Are you slow, bitch? One bedroom is $2,500.
The day I crawled in the bed with my foster daughter for the first time, I had instant regret. Hi, welcome to Adoption Unfiltered, where we talk about all things foster care and adoption related. So we were on vacation, and it was time for her to get up. And I had decided that I was going to go crawl in the bed with her. When I say crawl, it was on top of the covers. I didn't like get under the covers with her, and kind of like wrap my arm around her and say, hey, it's time to get up. Because that's what I did with my biological daughter when I wanted her to get up. I would go snuggle in the bed with her. Immediately, as soon as I got in that bed and I put my arm around her, she froze, she tensed up, she didn't know what to say, and I had instant regret. The reason why is because foster kids have been through so much. They stay in fight, flight, or freeze. And I just added to that because she didn't know what I was about to do. I knew, but she didn't know. So my advice to you is let your foster child trust you before you try to crawl in the bed with them and you don't make the same mistake I did. Now, my foster daughter did live with us for 5 years. And she actually lived with us until she was 23. Now, we joke about this now, and she openly tells me the reason why is because I scared the hell out of her. So don't make that mistake.
When it comes to having kids, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no. Nothing breaks my heart and enrages me more than seeing comments in anti-kid videos from mothers saying, I love my kids, but I hate being a mother, or never wished for this life, I hate it. Even if your kids, your coworker, your neighbor, your acquaintance never sees that comment, carrying that energy as a mother is so sad for your kids. Every child deserves a mum and a dad who loves being their mum and dad, like who looks forward to spending time with them, who wants to be around them and be their parent. That's not to say that there won't be hard times where you're like, fuck, this is tough, but in general, kids deserve that unconditional love. So as a mum myself, if someone tells me that they're not interested in having kids, I will 100% support that and be like, fuck yeah, you know what you want. Like, if you don't want kids, amazing, don't have them. Trying to convince people to have kids is just as fucked up.
It's just so sad for these kids that they've got parents who are openly admitting on the internet to strangers that they hate being a parent. Obviously, it's too late for those people who are now parents, but if you're on the fence, it's a no. You have to be fully in to actually enjoy being a parent.
Did you see that mom that says she regrets being a mother and blames her 2-year-old son for wrecking her marriage and saying that he sticks out like a sore thumb? Check it out.
I ain't sugarcoating shit. I don't want to be a mom anymore. I never wanted kids because I was selfish. I didn't want to give up so much of myself, and I didn't realize that I would have to give up 100% of myself, my soul, my body, my sleep. This is the least fun thing I've ever signed up to do, and I didn't sign up to do it. It was an accident. I can't always show up and be the perfect version of myself with no appreciation. How are all these other moms out here being like, oh my gosh, being a mom is such a blessing. I can't wait to get pregnant with number 5. What the fuck? I hate being a mom. I want to be a dad. I want to go to work, be respected, only have to put on deodorant and like maybe brush your teeth. I don't want to be a mom anymore. If nobody appreciates you, your kid doesn't appreciate you. I have a 2-year-old. He's wild, crazy, and feral. Every single time we go to soccer, he cries the entire time. He wants to be held. He doesn't even like me. So the fact that he wants me to hold him the whole time during soccer, okay, we're not doing soccer again, ever. When we go to gymnastics, he doesn't look like the other kids. He doesn't act like the other kids. He's a total stick-out, sore thumb. It's fine. I want to give my kid the opportunities in life to do things, to experience things, to go to parks, to be in a sport, to go to the splash pad, to go to a water park, literally whatever you want. I'm giving you experiences, and you make them all miserable. You wrecked my body. You wrecked my marriage.
So you blame your kid for ruining your body, for ruining your marriage, and then you're calling him ungrateful when he's only 2 years old, and then you say he doesn't even like you, which I think falls on you as the parent because you should be fostering a secure attachment style with your kid, and if it's an insecure or avoidant attachment style, that's your fault. Okay, honestly, I can't believe you got online and spoke about your 2-year-old child like this. Honestly, be so for real.
I firmly believe that a lot of relationships fail after they have children because nobody figures out how to work through all of the postpartum resentment. That Love is Blind couple just announced their separation. Their daughter's 18 months. That is so common. So many people are breaking up before their kid turns 3. It is so common. I never hated my husband more than the 12 months after I had a baby. And people who know me know I've hated my husband for the last 4 years because I've been in the 12 months after having a baby since we got married. More often than not, I firmly believe that people don't need divorces. They just need to learn to go to therapy. And if the person is a good person and is willing to show up for you and be better for you, and you're willing to do the same for them, you can figure it out. You can figure out anything. You can do it. You can do it.
All right, y'all, these are my earrings. It's a little fucked up today. Because, baby, I had some rotten, and it's my headband. I'm working with adults. I had some rotten, I guess, onions. And, baby, the nets is netting. I've been having nets for a minute. I think that somebody released some nets in the world. Because even when I don't have no fruit and vegetables, I got nets. But anyway, let's get into it. I'm convinced that my stepkids are trying to ruin my marriage. I'm convinced that my stepkids are trying to run me away from their father. And y'all gonna call me crazy. And I'm convinced that their mother goes to church to pray me away from her ex-husband. I have to pray every day to the ancestor and God because I realize that his ex-wife does not go to church to pray for healing and love and whatever. She's praying that I go away. And she's sending her children as an evil spirit to break up our marriage. Y'all can call me the fuck crazy. And I know y'all biological mothers about to eat me up. And I really don't give a fuck at this point. I am so frustrated with y'all fucking kids that I don't know what to do. But I am convinced that y'all kids are trying to break up. These kids are trying to break up my marriage. If I really tell you the things that's been going on in my motherfucking life right now, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe the shit that's been going on in my life. And I'm convinced that that woman's in the house praying for this man to come back to her life. I'm convinced that she is going to church to try to get this man back. And like I told God, if that man is meant to be back with her, let her have him. Because I don't have time for it. It's too many men outside for me to be tripping. Because I'm not going to be full of drama. I love my husband to death. I love my husband to death, and my husband loves me to death too. But at the end of the day, his children is going to run me into a fucking early grave if I do not either tell him that his kids have to stay at his mama house when he's not over here, or I leave. And I'm not motherfucking leaving. So the thing is now, let me tell you what's about to happen. His kids is going to stay at his mama house when he's at work. Because I am really, something happened this weekend that makes me realize that his kids really look at me as a motherfucking enemy. And they want to square up on me. And it's really his son that thinks that he about to put his motherfucking hands on me. And I'm not about to play these games with his son. I'm not about to be fighting. Baby, let me tell you something. If anybody kid, including my children, think they're going to put their hands on me and walk out my house alive or walk out my house into one piece, they got to be kidding me. I'm there in life. I am convinced that woman go to church to pray to God, the devil, or whatever she worshiping outside of church. Because, I feel like church is a cult. To get this man back or to run me away from this man. And I really had to call my ancestors and my aunt and was like, listen, I don't know what's going on in the workings that I can't see, but I'm going to need you. I'm going to need you. Do you know this woman called his uncle and asked his uncle, hey, can you help me find a car? His uncle. His uncle. Now, me and Daryl has been married for about almost 3 years now. She needs a car, right? She calls, the uncle has a dealership. Or works for a dealership or whatever. She calls the uncle and said, I need a car. Now, mind you, the aunt still paints with the uncle's wife, still paints with her. The uncle is very close to Daryl. Real close. Close. Like close. The uncle calls Daryl and was like, do you know your ex-wife calls me and asks me, can she help me find a car? And I told her absolutely that. Daryl said every time he goes and drops the kids off, she's mean mugging him. So if you are a woman of Christ and you are healed, why are we mean mugging? So I had to tell God and my ancestors, whatever sis over here doing with her kids and working in her potion, is going to return back to her. And I hope she understands whatever the energy she is possessing through those kids is going to come back to her through her kids. Okay, because baby, you're not about to drive me crazy. And I told her before, I am highly blessed and highly favored. And my guardian angels don't play about me. And my grandmama is one of those guardian angels. So when she in the hospital because she can't make her insulin or she's sickly and she don't understand why, this is why. But I'm very at the point where I realize his kids and her is trying to run me away. Especially that boy and that girl. They both are trying to run me away. No matter what's going on. And I'm convinced baby's over there is working up her voodoo magic while she's in the house of the Lord. And she mad because she can't work it on me. So she tried to use her kids. Baby child, let me tell you. Baby, what just happened this weekend, I am fucking amazed. Like, was you really going to come down here and fight me? Like, that's where I'm at in life. Like, was your son really going to come down here and fight me? And knowing that I have a mental health issue, was your son think that he was going to come down here and fight me? My own daughter that told me fuck me on the phone wouldn't come down here and fight me. But your son wrote a whole message saying he going to fight me? Yeah, y'all. Let me tell you. Y'all fucking biological moms be fucking y'all kids up. And not all y'all biological moms. So this is not for everybody. But the ones that's doing it, y'all lost y'all motherfucking mind. And y'all ruining these fucking kids. And these kids are going to be in a rude fucking awakening because they have no intelligence, emotional intelligence. And hear me out. I don't give a damn if she sees it, they see it, or whatever. This is my platform and you can send it to her. Y'all are fucking y'all kids up. Y'all fucking y'all kids up. For your kid to think when they get mad, they can square up on an adult because they think something going on that wasn't going on. Yeah, y'all kids got some issues. Counseling is what needs to be done. When you divorce, your kids need to go to counseling. And when you tell these kids, hey, they need to go to counseling, I tell her, the daughter, you need to go to counseling. We're going to sign you up for counseling because that's what we need to do. I don't need counseling while screaming at the top of her lungs. You don't need counseling. But the fuck y'all do? Because y'all got some underlying issue. All my kids in counseling but my son. But that man about to go to counseling too. I put every one of my kids in counseling. Did I say a word? I didn't say that. My oldest daughter, she just said fuck it. But what I'm saying is, all these kids need to be in counseling. Because between society and y'all biological moms, and I'm a biological mom, and I'm not very fond of Caucasian people. And their stepmother's Caucasian. Do you think I go to them and be like, I hate Caucasian people. I hate them. Don't talk to her. No. But yeah, that is what I am. That's where I'm at. That is my event of today. And then my husband called me and was just like, I said, yeah, when you're at work, your kids have to go to your mom's house. Yeah. Or I'm going to not be here. That is where we at now. Take your kids to your mom's house, or I'm not going to be here. I'm not dealing with it. Because now we on a different level. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Your relationship is going to crumble after you have children with a man. And the reason being is because, in case you didn't know already, men fucking hate children. They fucking hate children. The reason why men hate children is because men see children as competition when it comes to resources that a woman provides. They see children as the enemy because the child is now going to take up mommy's time, mommy's body, mommy's love, mommy's affection, and the number one thing, mommy's attention. This is why men constructed a society that used to be children-centric, child-centric, and turned it into being male-centric because they hated kids so much. Which is also why they only like children for consumption. Because if they liked children because they actually liked fathering children, they wouldn't be abandoning their children. They wouldn't be abusing their children. They wouldn't be trafficking their children. But yet men are doing it, and they're doing it in mass. Men hate fucking children. That's another reason why that womb envy that men have, which spikes up the unaliving rates of pregnant women, because that actually is the number one cause of death during a pregnancy, has nothing to do with the fucking pregnancy. It's the fact that a man's gonna her while she's pregnant. It's womb envy in addition to child envy. Men see a pregnant woman, they see the woman that they're with being pregnant, and something gets activated in their brain where they're like, this motherfucker is going to take my spot. This motherfucker is going to be hoarding all of the attention, all of the affection, all of the love. That's the fucking enemy. That's literally the reason why Freud created that psychology behind pretty much like a son having to compete with his father because like he likes his mother. There's like this competition. Yeah, usually the competition is going to be reinforced from the fucking father. You cannot tell me that a child is naturally going to look at his father and be like, fuck you, dad. I have beef with you because I have a crush on my mommy. No, it's the grown adult man that has beef with the fucking kid, and the kid understands what the fuck is going on. Children are fucking stupid. Children are very smart. Children are very intuitive. And children understand that they need mommy because mommy is not only a resource for their nurturing, but their survival. No child is going to be running to some strange fucking man when they can't find their way. A lot of times they're going to try to find another woman. They're going to try to find someone that's reflective of their mother. That was a really easy way for me to get radicalized when it came to me deciding to be child free. Men fucking hate children. Once you accept the fact that men can't fucking stand children, and the only reason why they even practice in the act of making children is just to tell everybody that they have children, because women and children naturally give men the halo effect. People lower their guards when they find out that a man is a father, even if he is not doing anything in relation to parenting the child, taking care of the child, even learning anything about the child. Do you know how many fathers don't know their children's birthday? They don't call them on their birthday. They don't do any fucking thing to support their own children. But out in public, all it takes is for them to say, oh, I'm a father, and they get a standing ovation. All you had to do was do 2 fucking pumps. You became a father in 20 seconds. Men literally become fathers in fucking 20 fucking seconds. It takes 2 pumps for them to become a father. And that is enough for people to lower their guard. So they don't have to like children. And we live in a society, and even more with where we're leaning politically now, we now live in a society that promotes for men to hate children and for men to only view children for their consumption. Not for something to be taken care of, not for something or somebody that's supposed to be uplifted, nurtured, and protected. They literally see children as another type of toy that they can use, that they can consume, that they can dominate, and that they can control. You close your legs real quick with these men once you realize that they fucking hate children. And it's really that simple.
The words of a 4-year-old almost had me ready to divorce my husband last night. First thing I always do when I come back home is I always go see my 4-year-old goddaughter and my 9-year-old godson. Last night I'm with them, and my goddaughter asked me, hey, where's your husband? And I told her, like, oh, this trip was last minute. He couldn't get off work. He did want to come, but, he couldn't come this time. And she was like, he couldn't come? No, he had to work. So he made you come here all by yourself, and he couldn't come because he had to go to work. You came by yourself? Yeah, I came by myself. He couldn't get off work. Oh, you came by yourself. He don't love you. And then she went to bed. What? This was the best picture I could get of them last night if you just wanted an idea of the type of energy I was dealing with.
Yo, my kids completely stole my wife away from me and ruined our marriage. And yeah, I'm 100% blaming my wife for it. Because it's her fault. She's the one who's always obsessed over the kids all the time. I see this happening all the time. You guys are good, so you get married, then you have a baby, and you don't even exist anymore. Like, these women are ridiculous. All right, bro, check this out. I get it. It feels like she's gone, but I promise you she's not gone forever. Biologically, women are wired to lock onto the baby for survival reasons. Studies show that in the first couple years, mom's brain literally reorganizes itself to prioritize bonding, nurturing, and protecting that child. She's not ignoring you because she hates you. She's just wired to make sure the baby doesn't die. And that's the part that most men don't understand. Like, yeah, she's wrapped up with the baby right now, but she's gonna come back. The wife you married is still in there. What she needs is patience, support, and you stepping up as a dad so that she doesn't feel like she's doing it all alone. If you play your role right during this season, you don't just get your wife back, you get a stronger marriage when she does come back. So are the kids stealing your wife, or are you just not ready to share her attention while she's doing something that nature designed her to do? Just a little reframe. As I always say, man, I want you guys to have a strong relationship, and if you care about that kind of thing, hit that plus sign. I'll see you in the next video.
I'm a firm believer of not having kids, and this is why. The lady who goes viral, it's because her husband divorces her. She's had, I think, 3 or 4 kids with this man, and she tried everything possible to keep the relationship, but he wanted a divorce. He wanted to, do something else in life, get himself a little hot new thing. Whatever, up to him. But now she has kids in the picture. She does not work, never worked, no income to support her kids in the midst of this divorce. So when it comes down to custody, she can't have custody of her kids because she can't afford to take care of them. Because you are a stay-at-home mom, you decided not to have a career for the sake of raising kids, which kids is a full-time job. I have chills down my spine because once upon a time, being a stay-at-home mom, not working and having the man pay for your bills, it sounds really nice until something like this happens where he has access to all the money. And yeah, you can say, legally she gets half, legally she gets, forget the legality of it all. Because in reality, the person who has the most money can take you through court for years and hold all that money for a long time. So she's still gonna be without for a long time, even if the court decides she gets half and blah, 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 blah. If I do decide to ever have kids, definitely keeping my career, keeping money and assets definitely separate.
Parents, let's be real for a second. What do you do when your adult child starts disrupting your marriage? Because it happens more than people admit. Maybe your child is always pulling one parent to their side, causing arguments between you and your spouse. Maybe they're constantly showing up with drama and it spills over into your household. Or maybe one of you can't say no while the other feels like the boundaries are being crossed left and right. At some point, you have to protect your marriage first. You and your spouse have to be on the same page, because if you're divided, your adult child will play that divide all day long. Here's the truth. Your marriage came before your grown kids' drama. And if you don't set those boundaries, you'll lose peace in your own home. I want you guys to think about that. If you do not set those boundaries, you'll lose peace in your own home. So let me ask you, have you ever had a adult child cause problems in your marriage, and how did you handle it? Y'all leave me some comments and let me know.